It's a news party and you're all invited. How's it going, everybody? This is Dave LeClaire with Make Use of Tech Bytes, and it is time to take a bite out of the biggest tech stories from the last couple days. So why don't you put your feet up, kick back, relax, and let's hop in and look at those news stories right about now. Kicking it off with our first story of the day, Sony has announced the Xperia Pro. This smartphone is $2,500. Let that sink in for a second. $2,500. However, it's not really targeted at you or me. This is targeted at creators. It has features that allow it to connect to a DSLR camera and serve as a monitor or a broadcasting device. Instead of having a live stream from your phone's camera, you can hook this phone up to a DSLR and then broadcast what your DSLR sees. This is kind of a game changer for content creators or people who want to live stream to a large audience, as they can now broadcast at a much higher quality than they could before. It also has a 4K display, so if your DSLR has support for 4K, you can see exactly what your camera sees in that beautiful 4K resolution on a larger screen than your camera's viewfinder. Now, in spite of the high price tag, the biggest thing that surprised us about this was the inclusion of last year's processor. It includes a Snapdragon 865 instead of a Snapdragon 888. Now, I understand that the reason you're paying so much for this phone is not necessarily the specs, but if you are going to drop $2,500 on an Android phone, you would think that it would come with the latest and greatest chip under the hood, but it does not. However, it does come with 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage, which is really solid for most flagship phones nowadays. Interestingly, when it comes to the screen, Sony did not announce the refresh rate. So we're assuming it is not 120 Hz, as that would probably be something that Sony would want to stream from the rooftops. Most phones with that high refresh rate, they're very proud of that fact. So the fact that Sony didn't announce it means that it's probably 60 or maybe at best 90 Hz. But if you're really just looking for a way to broadcast what's on your DSLR in high quality and you want to use it as an external monitor, it's not a bad device to consider. And moving right along, iOS 14.4 and iPadOS 14.4 is officially available right now, so you can download it to your devices. You just have to go to Settings, go to General, go to Software Update, let it refresh, and boom! The latest version of iOS will be available for you. Additionally, Apple Watch has received an update, as watchOS 7.3 is here, and the two updates go hand in hand, as the Time to Walk feature is now available as part of Apple Fitness Plus, and basically it is a feature that is designed to get you off your butt and moving. iOS 14.4 also includes warnings for non-genuine camera accessories, which may be an annoyance for some, but may be a lifesaver for others if you accidentally purchase one of these devices. The OS also adds a better handoff experience for HomePod users, so you can more easily switch what you're listening to from your phone or your iPad straight over to your speaker. This was a feature that already existed, but Apple has improved upon it with the latest iOS and iPad OS version. Another small but pretty cool feature coming to iOS 14.4 is the ability for the camera to recognize smaller QR codes. If you've ever tried to scan a really small QR code with your iOS camera, you've probably sat there and wiggled your phone around and flipped it upside down and turned it sideways and tried to clean the lens and get right on top of it, and it wouldn't work. Well, thankfully with this update, that shouldn't be a problem anymore, as it should be able to scan those small QR codes quickly and easily, just like it does with bigger ones. And probably most importantly, the update includes patches for 3 different vulnerabilities that are currently being exploited by hackers. Really want to update this one quickly because you do not want to leave your device open to any issues. So switching gears back to that Apple Watch update, you'll get the new Unity watch face, which looks quite nice. Apparently the shapes of this new watch face change throughout the day, so it'll create a face that is kind of unique as you move around and as you go throughout your day. Not everybody's is going to look exactly the same at all times, so that's kind of neat. And then there's the Time to Walk feature, which is basically a collection of short podcasts that are designed to get you up and get you out and get you walking. And in our next story, Google is looking to help people get their COVID-19 vaccines a little bit more easily, as the company is rolling out new features for search and maps that will help you find locations that offer COVID-19 vaccines. Now, obviously, you still need to be eligible for your COVID-19 vaccine, so if you're not in one of the age groups or the high-risk categories that is currently able to get the vaccine, this information is going to be irrelevant to you. But it's good to know for when the time comes when you are able to get that vaccine. Google's rolling out expanded vaccine information in search to more than 40 different countries in over a dozen languages. So chances are you'll be able to get the information that you need. And Google is gradually rolling out actual vaccine locations in Maps and Search. It's starting in a few major cities, and then it's going to branch out to other places as time goes on. Currently, this is available in Arizona, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, and Google plans to roll it out nationally as time goes on. Outside of the features coming to Maps and Search, Google is also offering $100 million in ad grants to companies like the World Health Organization and other organizations that will help get information out there to people who need it. And Google plans to make some facilities available to the health organizations as needed, meaning that you could possibly get your vaccine done at a Google campus. It's never easy to say goodbye, but alas, that is where we have come because we have reached the end of this episode of Make Use of Tech Bytes. As always, I have been Dave LeClaire, bringing you the latest and greatest in the world of the technology news. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe to Make Use of's YouTube channel, and if you're really feeling generous, why not click that share button and tell your friends about the greatness that is Make Use of Tech Bytes, and we will see you guys in the next episode.